Your book is not broken. It just needs oxygen. It needs a plan, a strategy for success that's guaranteed to work. And we've got that for you. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books. And over the course of the last 40 years, I've had the amazingly wonderful privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller. I've literally, over the last 40 years of being a marketer, I've literally not just been blessed to work with millionaires and even one billionaire, but I've been blessed to also be able to help make them go from obscurity to really truly known. To, if they were already millionaires, we've helped them double or more. But a lot of times, if there are people that were stuck in that six-figure range, we've helped them also move up into that 7 or 8 or even 9-figure range. It's very possible. It's very doable. And I want you to be the next one. And this month, right now, right here, this is when we do the thing. To quote the old song, this is how we do it. We have so much opportunity for you. And now is absolutely the time to capitalize on it. Absolutely. I know there are things going on in the world. There always are. I can't remember a time in my life. I'm 58 years old. I was born in the late 60s, okay? And I can't remember a time in my life where there wasn't a group of people talking about how wonderful Shangri-La, amazing it was, while there was another group of people that were talking about gloom and doom and the end of the world and, Armageddon, post-apocalyptic, dystopian, whatever words you want to use, just horrible, awful it is. And we've got to stop listening to what the media, what everybody else is saying. Opportunity exists right now. It is yours. You need to claim it. And especially this time of year, because here's the thing, and I'm mostly speaking about living in the U.S. and Canada, and, some of that, but really it's pretty much true. Any place that you're sitting in front of a computer or you have a phone and you're listening to me live right now. Okay, if you happen to be someplace where there is only one computer for the whole entire village, or you have to, go to your school in order to have, internet of any sort, third world countries and those kind of things, a little bit different. Okay, a little bit. But even with that, between AI and the internet and those kind of things, we have created opportunity for opportunity like has never before existed. And especially when we start looking at the fourth quarter of the year, we especially start looking at November and December. People are spending money. People are, whether they're as basic as spending money on, the materials to be able to create something for somebody because money's tight, whether they're spending, quote unquote, spending money to go out and gather the materials. People are, in the gift of giving and in the gift of creating things and in the gift of wanting to spend money. Okay, and again, like I said, I realize that my view is a little bit tainted here, and I am talking mostly to those of us that are blessed to live here in the United States. But even with that, this is the time. This is the time of year, and this is when you need to be visible and valuable. And those are the key components to you then being able to make money. I'm just putting it right out there for you. Visible and valuable. You need clear messaging. Clarity is powerful. Okay, we've talked about our 3 C's before. Clarity, consistency, and connection. Okay? So connection is your heartbeat. Clarity is your messaging. Consistency is how how well you take that heartbeat and that clear messaging and you do it consistently. Okay. And consistency for the most part, especially when we then move into that book you wrote or that book you're writing, or that book you want to write. Okay. All three of those different levels, all the way from, I know I want to write a book, but I don't know what about, all the way up to, oh yeah, I wrote that book. I wrote it 10 years ago. The difference between that doing all the things you want, wished, hoped, dreamed, imagined it would do, and what it is doing, the difference between that and what we can bring to you right now. And I'm talking about things that we can take action on and you can see an impact this week. So I'm not even, and yes, absolutely. And you need to DM Amplify to me if you have a book of any sort. Okay, because I'm putting together a whole entire marketing campaign. We're going to do it the whole entire week of Thanksgiving. Technically, we're going to start on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and go through Cyber Monday after Thanksgiving. But basically that whole entire week, because there's some things that we want to do to prep for that. That'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that week. And of course, I'll be going live. And I want to help and support and promote you. And that's my free giveaway that I'm doing for this month. Okay, now I have some paid programs, and I'm just putting it out there, that I am going to strongly encourage you to be a part of, because they are going to be the game changer in what you can do this month. They'll be the difference between you having a day or a couple of days where you'll see potentially a little bit of movement in the visibility of your book. And you having this whole entire month of massive impact and seeing massive action being taken. Okay, but in order to get people to take massive action with your stuff, you have to start it off with that massive action. It's absolutely imperative. It's important beyond all. We've got a system. It's absolutely in place. It's mastered. It's been done over and over and over again. And then just to, show you that it wasn't BS, first of all, the last couple of days, you can go back and listen to yesterday or the day before's live, and you can actually see me showing actual on the screen live. I shared with you on Amazon live the results. Okay, and you can see Derek and his book that was number one in 3 categories in the US and number one in both Canada. Later on, after we did that video, he actually also became, number one in a couple other top 5s in Australia as well. All the time. I showed you Willie and I's book, Magnetized Media, and the fact that, it came out, made it to number one, languished down to number 22, and was just pretty well holding at number 22. And the other categories, 500s, not even worth talking about. And the book itself was listed at 2.6 million out of all the books on Amazon, which, when you're talking 60, 75 million books on Amazon, being in the top 3 million is, or even the top 10 million is nothing to sneeze at. But went from that to, at the peak, it was number 38,000 out of all the books of everything on Amazon. Okay, that's how this system works. And we do it repeatedly. I talked to you about Lataxion's book, the one about Ma'at. Anyway, it's Lataxion and some, whatever, his little daughter Ma'at. Such a cute cover, him holding her hand walking. And again, showed you that his book made it again back to number one, just with this same promotion. Hey, Willie J, so glad to have you here with us. And the stuff that Willie and I are doing for people. I mean, Lataxion and his son Black Diamond, who is a musician of his own in his own right. They were just on the cover of which one was that? Was that L.A. Wire? You can correct me if I'm wrong, Willie. and they've been on New York Wire, and they're headed towards the article's already written. We're just waiting for the release date of Atlanta Wire. Big stuff. While Lataxion's book is also going to #1. You see, it's all about promotion. It's all about having a consistent, intentional strategy and plan. And that's what your book's lacking. Sure, making it to #1, and I mean, like I said, I've done it 5,000 plus times, 100% success. I absolutely know how to do that. And you do need the SEO element of making sure that your book is set up properly so that it can rank. Okay, you need to be in the right categories. I'll give you a perfect example about that. We actually did this one live a couple of days ago too. We looked at Lisa's book, Abundance Now, which is currently ranked at 988 or something like that. The book broke records with HarperCollins as being the fastest that a book had ever gone to a third reprinting. They had to actually reprint it not once, but 3 times. Fastest they'd ever had it in their history. And they're like, if not the largest, one of the largest publishing houses in the world. And yet her book, because that SEO was off, her book never made it past, I think she had one that was #3, but basically it didn't make it past #7 because they stuck her in categories that Oprah was promoting Brene Brown's latest book in. And she was going head to head with somebody, let's face it. Especially back in the day when Oprah was always on TV every single day, nobody had the juice that Oprah had. Everybody in marketing world wants to be able to impact a product like being on Oprah's Favorite Things did back when she had the show. Okay? It's just the reality of it. And nobody else's show has taken over at that level. But even with all of that, and Lisa's been on Oprah's show twice. So it wasn't like she was a nobody. But, the SEO was wrong. So you do need that element of it, but you need a marketing plan in place that consistently brings you in reviews, is consistently actually making sales of your book, has your book positioned in a way where, because 95% of all books that are purchased off of Amazon right now, where people, when they go to Amazon, they find your book. The pricing needs to be right. The SEO needs to be right. And the promotion needs to be right so that it then does it. Now, yes, you need your book to be, that's right, Willie, marketability is key. You have to have a market strategy. And this is all marketing. Okay, sales is a completely different thing. Sales is about taking what you've marketed and offering it to somebody. Okay, that's why they call them point of sale systems and not point of marketing systems. Okay, I'll use the most basic of point of sale systems that exists in the world, a Coke machine. Okay, and it could be a Pepsi machine or whatever. Okay, but a Coke machine. Okay, marketing is the the branding that they put on the outside of it of the nice, delicious, cold Coca-Cola. The best commercial I think I've ever seen as far as just totally marketing, enticing you. Coke was running a commercial at the beginning of movies. And it's been a while since I've been in a movie theater, but I'll never forget it. Because it was just showing the Coke pouring over the ice, and you could hear the ice, kind of crackle as the Coke went over it, and you could see the little fizzes popping up over it, and it just, if you like Coca-Cola at all, it was like, man, I can't believe I don't have a Coke. I need to run out into the lobby and go buy a Coke right now. And I'm willing to bet you a lot of money that they did. Okay. That's marketing. Sales. Okay. Go back to the Coke machine, most basic point of sale system. Sales is that little slot there where you got to stick your money in, because you can want the Coke. You can be marketed to Coca-Cola as much as you can be dying for a Coke. But the point of sale system is when you slide that money in there, when you swipe your card, I mean, they've got card swipers on them now, right? Sales and marketing. Okay, and you need your book to be set up so that it is selling, so that it's making an offer. It doesn't have to be hardcore. You don't have to be like, the old 10 men back in the days when they're going door to door selling siding to people. But you do have to have in your book an invitation. Hey, here's more of what I can do for you. That's why I'm spending this time here today talking to you about what you need for your book, but then also letting you know, drop the word amplify in the comments, in a DM to me, because you need this stuff right now. You need, by the time Thanksgiving week, Black Friday comes up, that you're top of mind in people. You need to, when people's wives, people's husbands, people's, kids, whatever level you're at. If you're selling a children's book, you want your children's book to be the one that your children are going, oh man, I want to get that book. I want that book. I want that book, right? That's the marketing. That's what we need to bring right now, so that we're in front of the people and we're poised. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. And I'm actually talking with him, my good friend. He goes by Grandpa B is his author name. His name's Roland. He literally wrote his book, I'm Not a Princess, I'm a Superhero. Great book. If you have little girls, you absolutely got to have this book. Free shameless promotion for Roland. Totally worth it. All right. And it's literally a phrase that his granddaughter said to him. He called her his princess, and she said, I'm not a princess, I'm a superhero, and he wrote the whole book and the whole story on it. And he's a graphic artist by trade, has been for the last 30 years or so, really knows his stuff. Amazing, fun artwork that he did in the book, but then in addition to that, he's also created companion books to go with it, a joke book, a puzzles book. There's other merchandise, cups and mugs and shirts and, all those kind of things. It's just like Willie, Willie J. And I don't know if they're available where people can buy them or not yet. If you got a URL, do drop the link. If not, send a DM to me or Willie and tell them, hey, I got to get some of them hoodies. Those hoodies are hot. You can go to Willie's Instagram and you can see him wearing different ones of the hoodies. Marketability. That's why at the youth conference that he spoke at a couple of weekends ago, the kids were all coming to his table wanting to not just get his book, but, I want to get Willie to sign it for me. Sold out. The next weekend at the bookstore, sold out copies of his book. Not because, he was buried and hidden, because of all the marketing, all the exposure, all the things he had already done, all the times he had been saying over the course of the few weeks leading up to that, I'm going to be at XYZ Barnes & Noble doing a book signing. Come see me. Marketing and sales. You've got to have that marketing element in there. And the reason why your book feels the way that it's making you feel is because of the fact that you don't have that marketing in place. You're not giving your book the oxygen, the nutrients, the sunshine, the love that it needs to be able to do it. And you absolutely do want to do that. Your book deserves it. You put all that time, all that effort, all that energy into creating that amazing book. Now let's give it the love that it deserves. So do drop the word DM the word amplify rather, or drop the word amplify into the comments. Let's launch your book, relaunch your book, market your book. Let's put it all in place. Let's do it this week so that when we come up to the cool stuff that we're going to do, and absolutely do let me know, hey man, I want to be involved in, I want you and Willie to be talking about and promoting and dropping the link to my book during Thanksgiving weekend. And I will totally work with you. I'm doing it on a much more personal basis. The last few years, I've just done it as kind of a group. And it's been kind of just, hey, do this. We're putting together a really cool situation for it this year. Okay. And there's going to be some amazing books, and some people are going to really see their statistics really, really rise up from that. And I want you to be one of those people too. And your book needs to be situated so that it can really take advantage of that, so you can make the difference in this world that only you can make. Because your story isn't over. It just needs to be found again. Let us help you find it, give it the visibility, so that you can make the difference that only you can make in this world. I hope until we're together again next time, you're happy, you're safe, you're warm and loved. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the human advantage and how human-led systems are always going to outshine the AI, and how we know how the algorithm works and what we're going to do to make it work for you. We're poised to help you out all month long so that you can be found again and make the impact that you're meant to make. I'll see you again tomorrow.